The Dandy's World devs have made a huge mistake in regards to Squirm's interactions. So Squirm has lots of interactions with toons. As we can see, there's a long list of interactions that you can read on the Dandy's World wiki, but Squirm is missing a dialogue that this user has caught onto. This user said, so they nerfed Squirm, but they still haven't given Squirm any descending down elevator dialogue. Fantastic priorities from Blush Crunch. So what they're talking about is the dialogue toons usually get when moving on to the next floor. For example, Poppy says when descending to the next floor, alright, what's next? Let's go Poppy and yippee. Squirm does not have any descending to next floor dialogue. So what's going on there? Where did the dialogue disappear to? Why is Squirm missing dialogues? Quell replied saying he does have that dialogue. Is it not happening within the elevator? I can go give it a look. So Quell thought that Squirm had descending to next floor dialogue. Quell then said, I see, thanks for letting me know. He has all that dialogue written out. It must have just not been added into the game. It seems like there may have been an error in adding the dialogue. Maybe it was forgotten accidentally, because Squirm does have a lot of dialogue, but the descending to next floor dialogue may have slipped through the cracks. Then Quell said, anyways, I'll head out now. Just saw that message and thought, hey wait, he has that written, so I'll have to double check on some of his dialogue. So maybe there's an error in Squirm's dialogue code, or maybe the dialogue was forgotten altogether to be added. As of making this video, Squirm now has a descending to next floor dialogue. Squirm says sniffle, and what if the next floor is even worse? And I just wanna lay on the floor, sniffle. So now the dev team have added Squirm's descending to the next floor dialogue, which is awesome. So the dialogue was missing for about 7 days. That's a long time. In other news, this user was the first Dandy's World player to complete the overtime achievement. As you can see, they said overtime, yay. And if we take a closer look, they have the overtime title, and I'm guessing the Squirm has a Shelly friend as well who also has the overtime title. They may have completed it together. Quell replied to that picture saying, congrats on being the first two to ever earn the medal. Whoa. And Quell posted evidence that they were the first two ever. If we take a closer look, as you can see, it says one ever two, and the achievement is to beat Dial's floor 25 times. This happened on the 3rd of February, so by now there's probably more people that have completed this achievement. But that's so awesome that we saw the first two players to complete this achievement, and Quell actually responded. That's amazing. Our next topic is about the future of matchmaking in Dandy's World. In February, there was a discussion about how much information Roblox gives the Dandy's World devs in relation to matchmaking. This user said, I'm not sure they even have access to player ages. At least that seems like something games shouldn't have access to. King Mob said they're supposed to be giving us the ability to matchmake based off being able to talk to each other soon, so that will be nice. So there was talk in February of Roblox giving developers the ability to know which players are able to talk and which players are not. As you know, there are restrictions on communication now. This user asked a really good question. They asked, I don't know if I'm allowed to ask this or even if you know at the moment, but if two people went into the elevator who couldn't talk to each other, would that give mixed age groups in a matchmaking run? King Mob replied saying the initial play button matchmaking prioritizes players who can chat. The custom matchmaking in the elevator doesn't have that signal currently, but it's coming soon supposedly. So Roblox actually have an inbuilt feature that will sort out players based on their ability to chat when you enter a game, because it does make sense for players to be matched together based on their ability to talk to each other. So players that can't talk to each other will be matched together, and players that can talk to each other will be matched together, just so that there's consistency when it comes to communication. This user asked a very good question. They asked, out of curiosity and confirmation's sake, so the plan would be making it a prioritization rather than a requirement? I'm someone who is unverified and don't plan to verify, hence my asking. So this user wants to know, when Dandy's World implements the ability for players to be matched based on whether or not they can talk in chat or not, you won't be shut out of matchmaking. You won't be forced to verify your account. King Mob replied saying, it just waits, so if you don't qualify for that wait, it will fall to a different one. You'll be fine. You will most likely play with players that can type to each other if you have unlocked your chat, or if you have not unlocked your chat, you will most likely be placed with other players who also can't type. So I wonder if there would be a strong priority based on your ability to communicate or not, because as you know, Dandy's World matchmakes based on how many tunes you have and maybe some other statistics as well. But now that we're getting another variable that the system will weight you against, will the system prioritize your ability to speak or not over, let's say, how many tunes you have? But from King Mob's response, maybe it will take an overall account of everything and give you an average when it matches you with other players. So it seems like all of the weightings that the matchmaking system depends on will be weighted equally, hopefully. Then yesterday, Quell asked the community on Discord to help with gathering some data for matchmaking because the dev team are working on what they talked about in February, where players will be matched based on their ability to chat in the chat box. Quell said, hey guys, needed some quick open testers for something with matchmaking. We're adding a variable to more frequently match people who are in the same chatting bracket and can therefore use Roblox chat to communicate. And players were sent to a private instance to test the future matchmaking. Then Quell said, closing the testing session, we got enough information to continue work on the adjustments. Thank you to all that helped. So the dev team are actively working on adding a new variable that the system will weight against, which is the ability to chat. So in the future, that's going to play a part into who you're matched with, which will overall better communications between players